Hey squad, welcome back. Now today we are continuing our short series on must-know music production terms, and in this lesson we're focusing on the term dynamic range. Now you may well have heard this term before, but if you haven't, you certainly will at some stage. Now before we get into it, don't forget to check out my other videos in this series, which will again help to demystify some of the jargon and terms that you might hear knocking around in different videos or different media, or even when you're in the studio and other people are talking and you don't fully understand what they're saying. Make sure you continue to follow these videos, as they are most certainly going to help you. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so dynamic range is a production term that you really ought to get your head around, and it's quite simple, to be honest. It sounds complicated, but it's not. What it is, it's really the difference between the loudest part of your performance and the quietest part. That's the range. So if, for example, you're a singer, there are going to be passages or parts to the melody that are possibly going to be performed a bit louder than others. Maybe over the duration of the song builds in intensity. A good example of dynamic range is the performance given by Whitney Houston on the song I Will Always Love You. There are passages where she's delivering quite a soft, intimate melody, and then there are sections where she's really belting it out, and that there is a very dynamic song. And the range between the really loud bits and the really quiet bits, that's the dynamic range. Now in music production, you're going to be faced with managing dynamic range in performances, especially when you're working with live musicians playing musical instruments or vocalists such as singers or rappers, and understanding how to manage dynamic range to get a nice even performance. That's in another video, which I'll be releasing very soon on compressors. But for now, let's just understand what this dynamic range is all about. So here's a couple of very simple examples, and let's start off with this short drum performance. And you'll find, in fact, especially with live drums are extremely dynamic. Now the drummer will be driving the intensity of the song, whether it be low intensity or high intensity, and the same way with many other instruments and musicians playing live, but drums in particular, you can hear the dynamics very, very quickly. So let's just play back this section of drums. You'll hear the change in dynamics over time, and we'll be able to establish the dynamic range. So as you can see from the spectrum analyzer there, for the first 4 bars, that was low intensity. And then the second 4 bars, the drum pattern became more intense and had more drive and was louder. It then dropped back down for another 4 bars and then back up again for 4 more of intense playing. This time I'm just going to go through it real quick, and I'll just reset the peak meters as we go along so you can actually see real quick what's actually happening on the meters. So on average, we're peaking around minus 10 dB on the quiet bit. And now we're peaking around minus 2.5. That is quite a big dynamic range there. So we're talking about minus 10 dB all the way up to minus 2.5 dB. That's a lot of difference. Okay, so when someone's talking about dynamic range, that's what we're talking about. Now let's just try this out with some vocals, basically just me talking on the mic, but varying the intensity of my speech. Now here is an example of dynamic range. In other words, the fluctuation of amplitude or volume of my voice. At times I'm going to be speaking fairly quietly, like so, And I suppose on average this is about the level or volume of my speech. However, there will be moments when I'll get more intense and louder, such as this. And as you can see, the volume goes up quite a lot, but there are times when it goes a lot quieter, like so. Now, in a performance, you will find that there are moments when your performance goes very loud or very quiet. And the measurement between the louder passages and the quieter passages, now that is your dynamic range. Now, I hope you found the video useful, and as always, it's great hearing from you. So remember to drop me a line in the comment section, like, subscribe, and share the video, because I'm sure there's others out there that you know who could benefit from these videos. It would be great if you followed me on my other social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook. Links will be on the screen and in the description. And why not support me on my musical journey as well at ducebeats.com. Now don't forget, like the rest of the MTTC squad, switch on your notification bell so when my next video drops, you'll find out straight away. And until next time, I'm Dr. Duce. Peace.